Beingness is always oneness, because everything that appears to be in its individual aspect or its individual form that it's taking, whether it's a mental form or a physical form or a spiritual form, it's all part of this oneness. Now, a term I call oneness-lessness is each person who feels disconnected from that. The oneness that we all are is not necessarily hidden from. A lot of the people that are teaching you or telling you what we have to do and the way the world operates, they're literally coming from a spot where someone else, maybe unintentionally or intentionally, misled them or misguided them, told them things that they believed in or that they wanted to use to steer them the wrong way or steer them in that other person who's telling them's favor. And they explained things or showed you things that weren't actually in cooperation with the universal way. When we seem to go way out of bounds and do the wrong thing, that is something that an individual, maybe not all people, but an individual needed to learn through. That doesn't mean that they're going to learn it. If people don't realize that every moment is a teaching from the universal guru, because when someone goes to a guru, they bring in ideas of a universal oneness or a universal energy. And then people then train into their own brain that there's an idea of universal oneness or universal energy. So you didn't need to go to a guru because the guru was just the microphone in which the universe finally got a point through to you. But you had to take the initiative to go see a guru. Now I, as the individual I play, Dan Alexander, didn't need a person in physical form to appear as my guru. I realized that from the very beginning, even before my incarnation as this person, the universe has been our guru. And when I say our, that's still the I that happens to be this form in physical space in front of people. Dan Alexander. I realize that everything I've ever known and done was something that everything has been doing and being. And I hope not to lose people by talking all universal like this, but on a regular basis, I force myself to speak on a personal basis in order to try to get a message across to people that they're better than what they've been led to believe they are. They can be worse. They can portray themselves as a horrible character, but that horrible character is helping other people learn if they realize that that's part of the guru too. Because if you see someone doing something that is obviously harming other things, and when I say other things, I'm saying animate, living, life-holding things. If you're not destroying or harming a living physical being, then you're doing okay. You're still going to learn, of course, because the next moment's going to come and you're going to see more things from the universal guru. But if we see all these tyrants and horrible people as just people who aren't part of that oneness, teaching those who need to learn these things, and we go like, why are they doing this to me as an individual? The I that I am doesn't agree with what they're doing. Well, good. Then, from your spot of that universal guru, be that example for other people and explain that message the best you can. And try to be passionate about it because, don't necessarily try, but make sure it's something you're passionate about. Because if you fake passion towards something and you're not authentic with it, people will see through that. Especially people who are more aware than the average. There are so many people who think they're aware, or they call it woke, this day and age, who are so blind to truth. They want to believe something that feels good for them. And even though it may not feel good to be exposing all the tyrants and all that kind of stuff, it is happening. And every single tyrant, every single bad person or bad interaction you've had with the world is something for you to learn through. Now, it's not just some metaphysical woo-woo. It's actually what's happening here. And it's literally and logically what's happening here. Because you're God. But you're so separated from it, being an ego, you're feeling like there's got to be more than this for me, this person. There's got to be more than this. Well, look around you and see who you can help. That's the more that you're looking for. If you feel there's nothing else for you as an individual to get out of this experience, then stop thinking of you as this selfish individual and look out and see those who need that help, those who need lifted, those who need to be brought back to our awareness of oneness. The longer we allow people to feel separated and excluded from the one, the longer we allow ourselves to be pulled apart. Because when they're excluded from the rest, they start building a separate way of life. They start building almost an individual earth. And as odd as it may sound, there are billions and billions, in fact, there's innumerable amounts of earths happening right now through each one of us in an aspect or an illusion we call time. Time has to be in order for you to manifest and seemingly make forward progress or seemingly make growth. You have to have time. You can't just be paused. That's why words like past, present, and future are the way they are. If you look at the word past, instead of P-A-S-S-E-D, something that you have seen, place, active, subjected upon itself, and expressing to and from, past, now you take P-A-S-T, and you say something that wasn't necessarily paused, not P-A-U-S-E-D, paused, but it's P-A-S-T, that potential or that placement, activated subject, plus. So it's already active, and it's been subjected, plus. Now we're adding that to something that not is paused, but P-A-S, you'd say pas. It's almost like past, but pas. Something that has been done, plus. Now we say present. When you say something is being presented, you're literally this potential reference expressing, subject expressing the notion, plus. So the notion that you are right now is pre-subject expressed notion, plus. The present moment is everything that you've seen sent to you before. Present. It's present. In this moment, you're aware of it. So everything that has been here before you has been present. And you're here in the moment, you're present. See how that is? You are a GIF. You are a form, generated, identified form of God. And that plus on the end has become your present, your gift from God is your incarnation at this point in time. And then the word future, you have a form, familiar, or force, unit, plus a unit that references expression. So whatever plus unit of reference expression that comes is adding on to your form, force, or familiar unit. So literally, that's what those words mean. And when you say, I see that makes sense, but how's that going to help me? The way it's going to help you is by realizing everything we are doing here is in some form, not necessarily wrong, but it's out of alignment with how we would make this universe in a physical form, this earth, better. We can't make it better by allowing people to manipulate us. Because like I said, manipulation is an option. If people manipulate you and you take it in and just get manipulated, there was an option that you actually allowed yourself to have happen. And the way that happens is when you don't guard your mental door. You have to stop letting things that don't matter intrude into your mind and become real to you. Everyone is creating an imaginary world and a reality for themselves. And everybody's reality and everybody's imaginary world, every single body that is separately seeming, is doing that. They live in their own reality. But there is one universal one that's happening. And this microphone body that I happen to be speaking through is that. That's why I will never get too deep into past subjects, because they are past. And they will never help present a new future unless we want to live in the past. And if people don't get that and think it's just a play on words, they should listen to what they're saying and talking about and ask themselves seriously and deeply, How is this going to help the future? By exposing all the past lies. People know that things are different now. People know that people do wrong to each other. Now look out and see what's being done and use your emotional and your mental and your physical compass and put it together as the one that you are in form and see what's being done wrong that's harming other things. But you've got to open your heart and actually understand that there is a living essence that you share with other things and other beings. And to some degree, harm is going to be done to the world. Something is going to have to be disturbed in order for something new to manifest. But when you take on the idea, realizing that everything has a level of existence and consciousness, you do the least harm you can. And until you clear out your own ego saying, well, I want this and I want that and I've got to be healthy and I've got to start learning that true health means wholeness. And you can't be whole if you're destroying and taking others' lives at all. You're causing a hole, H-O-L-E. But if you actually align yourself with the things that are given to you by the sun, or the highest part of God in physical form, which is the sun that gives us life. Of course, God is way more than the sun. The sun is just the Son of God, the Christ, the things that make things rise, the concept here that rised, okay? Understand that when you allow others to do it for you, but know what's going into the process of the things you eat, the things you watch, the things that you maybe worship as an individual, that makes you up. And if you're allowing or you're supporting or promoting harm to be done on a level where it doesn't need to be, then you're causing more lifetimes to become karmic baggage for yourself. And when you die, you will take those forms and you will take what seems like a whole lifetime to find that lesson, and then you will die. I, as an individual, don't have a lesson. I have a mission. And there are very few, but they act like there's a ton of them. There are very few individuals in this earth sequence that are actually on the mission to raise more people. Other people jump on board and say they are, but all they're really trying to do is get some recognition and some promotion of themselves. The only self that I'm trying to promote is the highest self that is all. The most high. Not just my higher self. I know that one too. And it teaches me in different ways. And I could teach you how to learn from your own higher self. Because there are layers and layers above this earth realm. There's at least 3. But we go way higher if you actually just start understanding that it all has parts and pieces. So the level up above this is the astral. The level above that is what we would call the divine astral. The level above that is consciousness. And then the level above that is like an ultimate consciousness that breaks into pieces into those higher astral or divine astral, and then the regular astral, then the physical, and then everything downward. I know that stuff may confuse people, but that is how it is. I'm trying to speak through a person who's not going to sit there and go into a deep meditative space and talk like I'm channeling from some far-off being, because everything that is happening to all of us is right here, right now, always. The idea of distance and the idea of space between is just an idea. And it has to take form, just like time has to take idea in your mind. Physical world and distance and space between have to appear as part of this, what people say, illusion, but it's more than just the definition of illusion. But it has to appear as that for you to travel through this realm and learn for yourself to take to those higher parts of you. And you will manifest on a different place that if you call it earth or you don't, it's going to be the same thing. And you will never have moved from the original point of primordial creation, the original point before the beginning began, before the idea of past, present, and future started, or even wordlessness, or soundlessness, or beinglessness. Nothing that has ever been thought about has ever been. There is no such thing as non-existent things. Because if it exists, even the idea of not existing is impossible. Do you see what I'm saying? But if you don't, that's okay. Just try to be and think a little deeper. And bring others into your passion. Bring others into your compassion and your awareness. And stop allowing yourself to just be distracted or non-responsive to the negative things that are being done here. That's how you as an individual spiritually grow. That is how. And from that, you will grow consciously. And you will grow even in ways that can never be put into words. So, hoping that I didn't lose you, I'm going to stop here. And until next time, peace and God bless.